Okay, maybe we're good to go now. And I think so. Alrighty. All right, let's do our intros. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat on your way in. And in this video, I know we got a lot of shuffling going on. In this video, we are going to be addressing Mr. O-Man, Obsidian, and his review of Kim Foster, Miss Kim from For Harriet, and her videos speaking about the Passport Bros and speaking to the brother Tony um, about Kevin and why he listens to the Black Manosphere and such and so forth. Shout out to one of the originators of this space, Obsidian. His breakdown was flawless. I don't know if he heard me in my bird call. I was saying it yesterday, but I don't know if he actually did. But I was just like, like yelling, like, "Oh, she over here talking crap," right? So, yeah. So, you know, I think I said it before. I'm happy Obsidian said the same thing, which is Kim comes from a long line of these kind of condescending upper middle class to rich black women who talk down to black men, the Oprahs of the world, right? So like, and O just backed me up on that, and I'm glad he said it. And there's nothing new about Kim Foster per se. New medium that she's using, yeah, the internet, but her approach, the way her hypocrisy, there's not enough good black men, the all of that talk, there's nothing new about that, nothing at all, right? And I'm happy, Obsidian and brought that up. The one difference is I'm gonna approach this a little different than this way. I don't care about whether they feel like the black men are not on their level. You don't got a choice. Oops. Oh, goddamn. Did Mr. Z sitting in the middle of America tell other Americans they don't have choice? Yeah, I just did that. Yeah, I just did that. Unless you're gonna go find that mythical, magical white man, which the vast majority of you just will not, or you're gonna eat vagina and be a political lesbian, which the majority of you just will not. You don't have a choice but to deal with black men. And shout out to the lady. I'm just gonna say young lady. The young lady that was in Obsidian's chat. That was part of the panel when he brought people on speaking about the Passport Bros, and she straight up said like TLA, the lead attorney is the ideal man, right? And women will hold out for that man. They will mess around and have a family holding out for that man. They will mess around and have children holding out for TLA, the lead attorney, and they will treat their significant other, their spouse, like a temporary man because in their mind he is a temporary man. Let me say this again. Let me say this again. Once again, thank you to her for saying that. Thank you to Kim from For Harriet for being who she is and all her crap. But let me say this here and now. If the goal is to regulate normal, everyday working class men, particularly black men, to not having children, not having traditional family, having to experiment with all these fake ass models, that's where Kim was going with it, right? Well, you're not an elite man, so you're just gonna have to deal with these new experimental, y'all should see my fingers right now. I'm doing the spirit fingers crap. These new different models of family and these new different models of this, which by the way is the same thing that I really want to just call him a cross dresser, but like I don't know if he was trans or just a cross dresser or whatever he was. That was on the Vice talk where they were speaking about masculinity and manhood. Yeah, so I don't know what he considers himself or whatever. But if y'all remember, he was kind of speaking like that too, right towards the end, which is like, get essentially he was saying get with the program. All you men, all of you men that want to do this whole traditional thing, get with the program, right? Like there's a new day, and in the new day we do this weirdo um androgynous blurring of the masculine feminine line for men particularly, um type of thing. And if you're not getting down with this, then well, you deserve what you get. And although the young lady that was on Obsidian's channel, that's not the direction she was trying to go in. She, or at least she wasn't trying to say it like to stick a finger in our eyes. So, but that's essentially what she was describing too. Like, well, if you're not TLA and Obsidian level, then you just get what you get. And that's what Kim was speaking to also, which is like, well, you're not a rich man, so you can't perform masculinity a certain way. And even though I'm an upper middle class black woman, I'm not going to perform femininity a certain way. So you just get what you get. Um, and to all of that talk, I say no, hell no, F no. That's where the passport bros come in. The passport bros and SYSBM come in and say, oh, so what you're saying is because I'm not elite, I get what I get. So I get the attitude, I get the sass, I get the condescending tone from the Kims from Fort Harriet, right? I get the insult. And Kim did this. Let's call a thing a thing. I get to be insulted by Kims from Fort Harriet because I work with my hands and I don't think and I'm not cerebral and I don't work white collar and I don't do the softer jobs. You know, the softer jobs that don't pay as much. Oops. Right? You mean the softer jobs that I have to go to college for, and that's going to put me in at least $25,000 in student loan debt? At least. You mean those softer jobs? Because the vast majority of college educated people are not going to be you, Miss Kim, making $300,000 a year, making money off of YouTube, right? And I think that needs to be stressed, right? Um, and for those of you, excuse my background. I know we're the connection might be a little wacky. I'm on a road. I'm not usually on. I try to do something and it doesn't look like I'm gonna have the time. So my apologies. So I just want to stress that I understand where Obsidian was coming from with his particular angle. Speaking about, the brothers that are doing well for themselves, the top 20% brothers, and he was saying, essentially they exist, and women like you overlook them or you're condescending to those dudes too. And I'm saying very clear, and this is usually my pushback to the black authority. Yeah, no, screw that. No, no, and more no. This talk of it, essentially, it's elite men or nothing. I mean, if you're not an elite man, then I mean, what did you expect? You expected to be spoken to like you're a human being? Right? If you're not an elite man, you actually expected to still have food on the table sometimes? Oh, you still expected to have a family? A nuclear family, the way we think of it traditionally, you expected to have that and not this blended, air quotes, blended family? Oh, you're a regular $50,000 a year man and you expected to be treated like a human being. Oh, no, 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 no. No, us regular dudes make the world go round, and the condescending pricks like Kim don't get to dictate to us what manhood look like. So Kim is going to be okay. Kim is going to be okay. She's going to find some man eventually. They're going to settle down. They might get married. She doesn't want to have children, so whatever. She's going to be okay. But all the other women like her, particularly in the black community, all have fun being single. Have fun not having children. Have fun calling yourself the rich auntie when really you're just a regular smegular auntie that make 40, 50, 60 grand a year, 70 grand a year, but you don't have no children, so you get to stretch it, right? Maybe you make 80, maybe you make 100, but probably not. No, all of you women that think you're better than your male counterparts because you got a little degree, that man probably still make more than you and he's unionized, but okay, whatever, right? Oh no, all this condescending, all of this condescending. Hell no. Not no, but hell no. Right? So I get where O is coming from, and we do need to speak up on our brothers that's doing well. We do need to speak up on the top 20% brothers, the top 5% brothers, the top 1% brothers. Yes, the top 10% brothers. Yes, we got to speak up on them. Yes, they exist. Yes, they're looking for nuclear families. But those of us a little bit further down, under that top 20%, but maybe above the top 50, oh no, you're not going to pretend like we don't exist. We're not going to be regulated to the you get what you get because you're not an elite man. Oh no. Mm-mm. Softcore eugenics because women like Kim from Fort Harriet are telling us, yeah, you get the blended family. You get the blended family package. That's what you get because you're not rich or elite. You get us condescending to you because you don't have a degree. You get us throwing a book in your face or throwing some outdated or out of context quote from some feminist from 40 years ago. That's what you get. You get us using a bell hooks quote that don't got nothing to do with nothing and throwing it in your face. That's what you get. Right? You get us laughing at you and your concepts of masculinity. You're not rich or elite. You don't get to play that game, Mr. Regular Man, Mr. Regular Black Man. These same people try to condescend and be insulting to passport bros, pretending like they don't know why they exist. And I'm so glad that Obsidian did the segment about what's going on in Northern Europe in particular with them importing Thai wives. Because everywhere you go in the Western world, Western women said, "Yeah, we're gonna be insufferable, and you still got to deal with us." And guess what? And we will be even more insufferable to the regular guys. That's if we give you any vagina or any cooperation. Probably not. So all of those men are like, "Yeah, we're out. We're out. We're out. We'll find someone that can cooperate with us here at home, and if we can't, passport. We're out." I'm glad that O spoke on that and went through the articles and everything. And I'm glad that the young lady that was on said what she said about essentially the goal is to meet a lead attorney, someone they find attractive, someone with some status, someone with some money. That's cool, and they hold out for that dude psychologically. I want y'all to catch what she was saying. They'll still live their lives. They'll still have kids. They'll still get married, and that's not for all of them. Many of them will hold out for real. No kids, no marriage, no nothing. Holding out for that guy. But even for the other ones, psychologically, they're holding out for TLA or someone like TLA, and they will get married and they will have kids, and they will treat that husband, that boyfriend, that baby daddy like he's a temporary man because in her mind, he is a temporary man. He's there temporarily until a TLA walks up. And Mr. Z isn't married. I am in a serious relationship. Let me tell you, I will leave you right where you stand. If I smell, if I smell I'm with you because I can't get who I want, I will leave you where you stand. We at the Christmas party and you make googly eyes at one of your coworkers, or if we have my Christmas party and you make googly eyes at one of my I will leave you where you stand. These same people who keep on feigning like they want men to be treated like human beings don't actually want to treat men like human beings. Yes, even the Kim from Fort Harriets of the world want to treat men like walking wallets, tools. status symbols, um, what, like I said, walking wallets, overglorified guard dogs, right? They don't respect men. They don't respect masculinity. They think masculinity is a joke. And the only people that actually get to practice traditional masculinity are uber rich, wealthy guys or the mandingos of the world. The chisel chin men, the six pack dudes, the 9-inch member plus guys or 10-inch member plus guys, right? Yeah. Y'all like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. But no, Miss Kim, and once again, shout out to the brother Obsidian. But no, Obsidian, no, we're not gonna let the Kims of the world regulate regular men to dusty status because they're not the top 20. No, we're talking about the salt of the earth. We're talking about people that make this economy move. Why does it always have to be the elite blue collar men or the elite white collar men? Right? White collar men in general, but mainly the elite. And definitely, if you're blue collar, you have to make some a zillion dollars more than her. Hell no. And if you're not one of those guys, you gotta wait for her to age out of the game when she don't got no choices, and then that's where we get the temporary treatment. Oh no, nope, 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 nah. Not gonna keep that. And you have Kim from Fort Harriet condescending the blue. I can't be with blue collar. It's the class thing, the class element, the class. You tell me when black people in any great number have all of this class, all of this elite 300, $400,000 people, 250, a $250,000 people. Where are all those black people, particularly black women? What, the top 10% of black women make what, 70, 80 grand or more? Man, if y'all don't get y'all, man. And these top 10% black women are doing entirely too much talking. Shut the hell up. Oh yeah, Mr. Z said it, yeah. Y'all are barely 10% and y'all doing all the talking about how men aren't on your level, black men. Well, go get the white dude. Oops. Racism. Well, then go eat vagina. Oops. You would rather not. And there you go. Kim comes from a long line of condescending a-hole black women. And I want to stress this too also. Something that Obsidian said, and this is a I'm gonna offer him a little bit of pushback, but I understand where he was going, where he was speaking about he's not gonna go to an elite school to learn about black people. He's black, he already know black people. I think that's one of the biggest misconceptions in the black community is that black people know other black people. Clearly, all of these black people that go to these Ivy Leagues and second tier schools and they go take Africana studies, as you can see, particularly for the women, especially, they take those classes, which are just feminist light, just to find interesting polysyllabic and verbose ways to be sexist towards black men. That's all those Africana studies classes look like they actually produce. It's women like Kim from Fort Harriet. Number one. Number two, it's debatable whether black people know other black people. What we're finding more and more is that they actually don't. That's what, maybe it's Mr. Z, I don't know, maybe one of y'all could tell me if you see it, but Black people don't know other black people. They don't. They don't. As a matter of fact, black people's when you sit them down and ask them to critique other black people, they come up with the same, excuse me, anti-black, white supremacist, racist concept as white racists do about black people. Look at your entertainers. I was speaking to a coworker about this the other day. We were speaking about Kevin Gates. I was like, something wrong with this dude. Every time he opened his mouth, I don't know if he's dealing with something, but every time he opened his mouth about black people, he come out his mouth sounding like a racist. Or sound like he's trying to appeal his case to some white judge that might be watching him, so he keep on throwing black people under the bus to be like, well, I'm not like one of these Negroes anymore. I think that's one of the biggest misconceptions is that black people actually know other black people. I don't think black people know other black people. I don't think black people know how many black people live in their state. I don't think they know how many black people live in their city. I don't think they know how many black people live in the country. I don't think they know black people's politics. I don't think your everyday average black person knows anything about black people. I don't think they know how much the average American makes, let alone black American. I don't think your everyday average black person knows anything about black people. I think black people live amongst other black people out of force, but they don't know anything about other black people. Right? And I think the evidence is clear on that. I definitely don't think black people know anything about black people across class lines. The little fuzzy class lines that we do have, the barely existing class lines that we do have. Right? I think black people buy into mainly all of the negative stereotypes that white people buy into about black people. And I think you see that most evidently with the people like Kim from Fort Harriet. They just couch it differently because they make it about gender. But it's pretty much all the negative stereotypes about black men that white racists would say, that a white feminist would say. What we're finding more and more is that there's not really a big difference between your white feminist and your black feminist and your black womanist and whatever other term they want to come up with. There isn't actually a difference. Black women are just mad because white women keep on sidelining them and not talking about nothing they want to talk about, which is essentially how horrible black men are. And white feminists, I mean, excuse me, black feminists trying to move in on white feminist man. Ooh, Mr. Z, are you saying that black feminists want white men? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Right? So no, oh, we're not gonna let Kim from Fort Harriet regulate everyday regular working class men into this weird ass position where we gotta eat condescending women like her demeanor for the rest of eternity. Nah, that the days of the Oprahs and the Terry McMillans and the Shonda Rhimes and all of these people who write these articles and these movie scripts and these talk shows where they just talk down to your everyday 9 to 5 man, black man specifically. Those days are done. Kim could go kick rocks barefoot. If she thinks she's gonna be the new Oprah and occupy this space where all she does is talk down to regular dudes, regular black dudes, nah, nope. And this is what passes for black intellectualism in the black community. Black feminists talking down to black men every 5 seconds. Man, if y'all don't go kick rocks. And what's going on, Sir Anthony? Thank you for the super sticker. Or super chat, better yet. Thank you. Right? Y'all like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. So once again, I'm glad TLA had the panel up. I'm glad that he went over what he went over. He had the young lady up. What she said, I mean, is there any can there possibly be a disagreement? These kind of upwardly mobile black women specifically, right? And all made sure to distinguish, the Kim from Fort Harriet's from, your everyday sister that, that's a caretaker or something like that, So I'm, following along with him, there is a distinction, but even some of those women would rather be with a TLA, and there's nothing wrong with that. What we're speaking about is both the women that continue their lives and the women that seriously hold out no children, no man, or no husband because they're holding out for a particular archetype, a TLA. What we're saying, or at least what Mr. Z is saying, is we're not going to let the Kim from Fort Harriet's condescend to us any longer because she can't get the 6-foot+ chisel chin dude that's gonna kiss her dirty draws and let her talk all type of crazy about men, right? And actually not even let her, encourage her to be condescending to other black men because he's the exception to the rule. Essentially like if FD signifier was attractive to these type of women, right? Like a chisel chin FD signifier, a 6-pack FD signifier. Like that's their ideal man. Like a brother making money. He speaks like this. He knows these type of things, but she also finds him attractive, and he just always finds a way to backdoor right into. Well, if y'all would just adopt intersectional feminist thought, then y'all would be okay. Your problem is that you have these old notions of patriarchy, just like the women do, but we're gonna ignore that part. And if you would just adopt this intersectional feminist thought that doesn't actually work for the men under the top 20% at all, but if you would just train tracks, if you would just adopt this worldview, then you will be okay. Even though like 80% of the women around you would never, ever, ever be accepting of that shit. All they do is talk about it, but they don't really mean it. Right? They talk that intersectional talk is a really good game, but they don't mean none of that. Right? So it's the Kim from Fort Harriet's, the like I was saying, when I did the video about what is her face? B Simone and what is her face? The comedian from Baltimore. Jess Hilarious and B Simone speaking about emotionally intelligent, and you're like, y'all don't mean none of that. And I'm glad O brought that up. They just continue to move the goalposts. And the thing with that type of talk is that you can't measure like emotional intelligence. So they finally found something that can't be measured, because we could measure how many black men have degrees. We could measure how many black men make over a certain amount of money. We could measure how many black men are single and childless. All of the stuff they've been chastising black men for the better part of 4 and 5 decades, we actually have numbers to now. And so they move the goalposts to things that can't be measured, number one. Number two, they always reserve the right to say, I'm going to go get me the mythical, magical white man. But even with that, that's becoming more and more difficult. That's why the divestors are sounding crazier and crazier, Because what we're finding is that your everyday regular white dude, which is the vast majority of white guys, don't got it like that neither. So yeah, now they're regulated to speaking about the things that can't actually be measured. That's unquantifiable. Ugh, that's ugly. Mm. King Combo, you ain't ish. For that Zestiny club. He said Zestiny. That was funny. Give me a second. I can't read the whole thing. The light just turned green and I was about to read it. That was funny. For real. We ain't gonna talk about the fact that Zestiny is from down here, but oops, making South Florida look bad. Well, at least he lives down here. I don't know if he's originally from down here. Right. But yeah, so it's important that we say that Oprah lane, right? And I get where O is coming from, Obsidian is coming from. Yeah, we do have brothers that are producing, that are elite, that are part of that top 20%, top 10%, top 5%, top 1%. Yes, we have black men like that, and those men need to not go ignored also, just so that the Kim from For Heritage could try to make a point and score some political points and social points against black men in general. Yes. But even with that, she could kick rocks because regular men make this country go round. Everyday 9 to 5 men, black men in particular, make this country go round. Blue collar men who Kim from For Harriet thinks she's better than make this country go round. Blue collar black men who she thinks she's a classes above make this country go round. And shout out to the brother who called into Obsidian and said, I could shut down this country's water. Me and a few other people could shut down this country's water in a matter of hours. And Kim and all her intellectualism and all of her condescension would just go with no shower. Shout out to that brother. All that talk, all that intellectualism, and it's a bunch of blue collar men that make sure that you got water to wash your ass, Kim. Those men that you think you're better than, which one you think is more important? What the hell you do or what they do? Oh, I'm gonna start bringing that up more and more. All of these, we're not talking about nurses, right? We're talking about all of these lamoids making all of these video essays all across social media, critiquing men, black men being condescending all day, every day. I'm gonna start asking them, what you think is more important? What these men that you're condescending down to do, or you? Which you do, which is just talk crap. What exactly are you contributing to this society? More verbose and intelligent, intellectual ways of telling other black women they don't really need men that way? Or at least you don't really need black men that way? Kim, you sound unhinged half the time. Talking about you don't need black men. Maybe if you had a black man in your life, you wouldn't sound so unhinged all the time. You ever thought about that? Maybe if you had a black man telling you, yeah, you sound crazy. Or yeah, we ain't doing that. Or yeah, your average man that watches videos like yours, and excuse my language, I want to be clear. Y'all have seen I haven't used profanity, but I gotta say it like this. Your average black man, they watch 5 minutes of a Kim from For Hair. What the fuck this bitch talking about? And they done. Fuck this bitch, and they're done. Mr. Z is the one watching these videos, going through them, reading through the comments, making sure my commentary is not profanity laden, being very careful how I speak because I'm trying to represent the black manosphere a particular way, even if I'm going to come in a little bit with the fire and brimstone. Your everyday black man Even some of your white collar brothers, but your everyday black man, definitely your blue collar brother, he watched 5 minutes, if he could even get through 5 minutes, of a Kim from Fort Harriet video or any one of those, the Khadijas, all of those women that be condescending and talking crap. And the first thing out of their mouth is, what the fuck this bitch talking about? That bitch ain't even that pretty anyway. Oops. Tell me I'm lying. That bitch needs some dick in her life. Tell me I'm lying. I bet you that bitch don't got no dick in her life. Tell me I'm lying. Tell me that's not what them brothers are saying. Right? And that's all these particular women do, is just condescend. Condescend, belittle, talk down to the men that make their life possible. They take Africana studies and then come out speaking about black men like black men are the worst thing that ever happened on planet Earth. Have more smoke for black men than any white supremacist anything. And Indigo, thank you for the super chat, Indigo. Indigo says, that's one thing I appreciated about KS, Kevin Samuels. He advocated for blue collar brothers and oh yeah, black women social worker tax. Thank you. Thanks, Indigo. Right? Oh, and the Combo Camo. I'm sorry, King Camo. I was gonna say King Combo. The King Camo comment was FD and Zestiny are the example America wants young boys to follow. Yeah, yeah. To young men and young women's detriment. So I just want to stress that you know, it's just a different of approach. I understand where Obsidian was going with what his commentary. He did a great breakdown of her speaking to the brother Tony, and all of that she was saying about essentially being better than these niggas, pretending like she doesn't understand why. And I really want to stress this: why black men in particular listen to Kevin Samuels. Kim, you are the reason. Women like you come from a long line of condescending a-hole black women, particularly directed towards black men. The reason why we listen to Kevin was to wash our ears out of women like you humming in our ear all the time, just talking. Whether you're a hood and you can barely put your words together, or whether you're intelligent and intellectual and you find all of these 4 and 5 syllable words to insult black men, to belittle black men, to belittle black masculinity, and to essentially tell black men like me, you're not elite enough to have this traditional relationship you're looking for. So you're just going to have to deal with whatever weirdo new relationship model that those of us in these academic spaces have cooked up. You're going to have to deal with baby mamaism. Shout out to whoever it was, whatever woman it was in Kim's comments. She read the comment that was like, oh, these men be avoiding us baby mamas too. Of course we are. Because y'all have the same, bro, we're talking about $40,000 a year single baby mamas who have the same attitude and worldview as Kim from Fort Harriet. So what is Mr. Z saying? They're just as condescending. They're just as belittling. They're just as mean. They're just as snarky. And those women bring nothing but $40,000 a year job, $45,000 a year job, and some other dude's children. And that wouldn't even be the child from another man isn't even the worst thing. It's the fact that you still an a-hole. Okay, I need to start doing this because Big Kev said, "Are you going to have a panel real quick?" No, Big Kev, uh, you know, without incriminating myself, let's just say I have things to do today, and I'm in one of the places where I have things to do. So, no panel. As of right now, you know what? Because of you, Big Kev, see, you keep on doing this, Big Kev. God damn it! But because of you, I might open a panel a little later on today, before excuse me, Art of Immort's panel. How about we try to do that later on today or tonight, better yet, right? Maybe for an hour or so before Art goes on, right? But yeah, so it's just, dude. I'm like I said, the condescending, the black woman is the moral compass, or like they have some intrinsic morality that the rest of the world doesn't have, particularly black men don't have. They have, because intersectionality informs them a particular way, they have a more holistic, positive, um humanitarian view of the world. You put a microphone in like 90% of these women's faces and they sound like neo-Nazis, but okay. Yeah. And it's too, there are certain things about Kim from Fort Harriet that's just too easy to flame her on. And I'm glad Obsidian stayed away from that also, because I checked out, because one of the brothers mentioned her. I checked out her IG page and saw her friend circle, and it's too easy. It's just, yeah, right. And that explains a lot. Oh, explains a lot, right? It's, you know what sucks is like when you can't state the obvious, because in our society, like, and it is hitting under the belt. It's particularly for women. Like, there's certain things, it's good to keep the conversation above the belt, keep it intellectual, keep it, because bruh. And I'm glad Obsidian just put it up. Her Kim from Fort Harriet's comments were flaming the brother Tony about his looks, and I'm like, y'all really don't want black women, the most aggressive and fragile group of people on the planet, including your intellectual black women, aggressive as hell, fragile as hell. Because if we start talking looks, ladies, how fast before black men shatter y'all? That's why y'all see Mr. Z don't I don't go into the looks conversation. It's too easy. First of all, excuse me, I don't like making fun of black women's looks. I don't, the world does too much of that already. I actually agree with black women on that. But if you know you in a glass house, black women, geez, for a group of people that know they're in a glass house, y'all surely walk around with a whole lot of rocks in y'all hand. Y'all know y'all in a glass house. Y'all know how y'all feel when y'all know how y'all feel when people start flaming y'all for skin tone, broad nose, certain features. Y'all know how y'all feel. And yet black women are the first ones to go in on somebody's looks, the first one to imply something about someone sexually. They're the first ones. Flaming Tony in the comments. And I'm like, ladies, y'all are hiding behind avatars. If we saw how y'all look, How easy would it be for us to crush you? Just crush you and start explaining to you why you single as hell. Because let's be clear, most of Kim from Fort Harriet's comments, I put money they single as hell. I put money they single as hell. A bunch of highly educated, some would argue overly educated, but I don't believe in that concept. Highly educated, intelligent, waste of space. Looking down on blue collar black men that make the world go round, that make America move. And once again, we're not talking about nurses. We're not speaking about daycare workers or people that work with the old folks or teachers or any of that. We're talking about somebody that's sitting in a cubicle all day, sending sending this paper over here, which gets sent over there, which gets sent back, excuse me, sent back to her. She edits this 2, 3 words or something like that. Then she types this, then she sends it here, and then it goes there, and then it moves back over here. And those women look down on your landscapers, look down on your plumbers, look down on your the guys working on the roads, look down on those people, the guys working on your intersection lights, your mechanics, your construction workers, and the women that are working in a cubicle. Screw it. Let's say they're not making $40,000. Let's say they're making 80. Let's say they're making 85. Fine. Excuse me. Fine. They're making 85,000, and they think they're doing something special. Their job could disappear tomorrow. Nobody would miss them. The guy working on the road, his job disappear, and we'll know when there's a big pothole sitting in the middle of your major city's intersection. Even the landscaper, you know when the landscaper ain't hit a certain area for a while. There's nothing wrong with you going to get your degree, ladies. There's nothing wrong with you sitting in the AC, typing up whatever you're typing. That's not where Mr. Z is going. What Mr. Z is saying is stop acting like you better than others. Because Kim from Fort Harriet got y'all all in y'all feelings. Because she can't keep the type of man she thinks she deserves. And she thinks it's her God-given right to condescend down to everyday working class men. Like Obsidian said, like I said, Kim from Fort Harry just comes from a long line of the Oprahs of America. So I guess Kim is the millennial Oprah that just talks down to black men in the 21st. I guess she's the millennial Oprah, or attempting to be, just over intellectualizing how black men are not cutting edge when it comes to our language, or we want to adopt white patriarchal, because it's funny how they keep on kind of tying this patriarchy thing to white men. Yeah, no, right? And we want to adopt white patriarchal norms or something like that, right? And it's important that we stress how BS all of this is, right? And I'll pause right there, y'all. You know, I'll pause right there. But yeah. Look, I'm over it, and I'm glad Obsidian did his work. Like I said, I will not let Kim regulate working class men to nothingness, to having to deal with women in these different models, these different relationship thingamajiggers. I don't know what the hell these things are. Um, and essentially say that, yeah, if you're an elite man, then yeah, maybe, probably not. But if you're not an elite man, oh yeah, you have to deal with baby momerism, blink of an eye divorce. Um, you have to deal with the sass and the attitude. You have to deal with once again the condescending, the snarkiness, because you're not elite enough to not have to deal with me raising your blood pressure and driving you into an early grave, because really I don't want you here and I really want that life insurance. So my attitude is the slow poisoning of you. As the young lady said on Obsidian's channel, um, you're a temporary man. You're a temporary man. And I treat you as such. Right? So, yo, I will pause right here. Love, peace, and chicken grease. Y'all like, share, subscribe. Um, definitely share, like, yeah, man. Like I said, great job, Obsidian, on your work. And I will pause right there. Kim from Fort Harriet, man, I just want to know, like, what are black women supposed to do with this? What are black women supposed to do with all of this commentary and all of these video essays coming from Kim from Fort Harriet, Khadijah, T Noir, name them? Like, what are your everyday millennial Gen Z black woman, what is she supposed to do with the concepts coming from you, I guess, social critiquers and video essayists? I mean, what are black women supposed to do with that? Fine, y'all don't care about black men. Cool. What are other black women, 30, 40, $50,000 a year black women supposed to do with how Kim from Fort Harriet critiques black men, right? When they have all these concepts rolling through their mind, what are they supposed to do with that? With how Khadijah speaks about intersectionality, when these women low key in theory, like, they theorize about it, they'll speak on it, they want that on paper, and then they get it. It's like, my johnny just ain't wet. I can't. No, right? So yeah, I'll truly pause right there. But that's the question, and that's a real question for Khadijah and Kim from Fort Harriet and all of those people, all of them going all the way across to Real Talk with Yanni and Paris Milan and Chrissy. All of those women. I know they don't occupy the same spaces, but all of them. Amongst y'all have a couple million subscribers amongst all of you, right? And what are those women supposed to do with your commentary? What are they supposed to do? Like I said, ain't enough non-racist white men and non-racist women. So yeah, have fun. So I'll truly pause right there. Y'all like, share, subscribe. Mr. Z out, and I will catch y'all on the next one. All right, y'all.